We are joined today by the arch collaborator with Primate, based here in the land of humans. John, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, too.
Now, John, there are so many things I would like to ask, but for the sake of time, I have only been given 3 questions.
Sure, far away.
I was wondering, what was your initial inspiration to create and construct the Primate ethos and work with my colleagues over in Primasia in the first place?
Well, that's a long story in itself, actually, but I'll try and keep it short. Back in my early 20s, I was approached by some friends who were working at Zoological Society London to join a small team who would be travelling into Central Africa, into what was at the time called Zaire. It's now known as the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the mission was to collect some insect samples for London Zoo before heading to Gombe Stream to meet up with Jane Goodall and her habituated chimpanzee family.
It's awesome.
Yep, I was working in finance in the capital at the time, but did also have a background in photography, and they needed someone to document the trip, so to speak. So I took a sabbatical from my day job for a couple of months, and after several weeks of suitable training and stuff beforehand to prepare for the excursion and so on, away we went.
Goodness, that's awesome.
Yeah, suffice to say that this was when the very, very first civil uprising was starting in Zaire during the General Mobutu regime being in place, which made for an even more interesting expedition centre trek than we anticipated.
Oh,
Anyway, rubbing shoulders with the chimpanzees and seeing the plethora of wildlife in the region, whilst travelling on foot and public transport for over 1,500 kilometres, brought me down to earth. And on my return to England, my mind was kind of awash with the wonders that lay in these places, and that mankind, we just go about our business of world domination and exploration, whilst the remainder of the world's creatures just go about their day-to-day lives and their day-to-day business, and they've got no sort of aspirational tendencies or need of material gain.
yes, absolutely.
So it occurred to me that the best thing I could do was to create a place where the world's creatures were able to impart this ethos to humankind and let them know how the activities of the human race were affecting so many things. The Primate brand was subsequently born from this.
That's fabulous, John. Fabulous. I have a question here submitted by Professor Patrick Prawn. He asks, his character has a monocle, which is actually rather a nuisance for him, as it keeps falling off. Why is that?
Well, growing up, I always admired the late Sir Patrick Moore, the legendary amateur astronomer. And I thought to myself, why not have a character that lives on the bottom of the sea, that looks up at the surface of the sea with his telescope, and the passing ships and the areas of pollution and the like would all form part of the night sky, so to speak, enabling him to monitor such activity and report accurately on its environmental impact.
Ah, yes. Patrick and Wanda Whale did talk about their observations together in one of our YouTube episodes. Great! And finally, we are really excited to learn where you see our adventures taking us all in the future.
Well, much depends on our friends that support us on here with this crowdfunding project, and thank you so much to those that do. And our existing supporters on social media and the like are also essential and very, very much appreciated. I'd like to think that eventually Primasia will be an open world game where the user will be able to travel between the 6 islands on board the HMS Beagle, trading between the islands and travel back to sea and work with us here in the land of humans to mutual benefit. And who knows, with any luck, the player will be able to use the secrets hidden inside Primate Cavern to reintroduce wildlife including rainforest areas and even certain extinct species.
John, that all sounds marvellous. Thank you so much for joining me for this brief interview. It has been a real pleasure.
It's been an honour, Tick, really, it has. Thank you very much. Keep up the great work. Bye for now.